So some key takeaways for employers that I want you all to think about is if you're an employer or an HR professional, here's the key takeaways from my perspective. Implement mental health days as a part of your paid leave policy. This shows that you value mental health as much as physical health. I happened to years ago, I learned about this. Years ago, I had a friend who worked in a tech company and they were actually given mental health days. That's what they were called years ago. And the idea was call out well. You've just finished a major project. You know, you're in a lull of projects. We all have that, right? There's a time where, you just need a day off. It's mental health. Immense improvement for employees when that happens. We need to be training our managers and our leaders to recognize the signs of burnout, things such as withdrawal or decreased performance. So if you have somebody who's really performing high and starts to fade, we need to be figuring out what's going on there. And we need to make sure we're responding with empathy and ensuring the appropriate referrals, right? So do you have an employee assistance program? Do you have a mental health app? Is there a benefits team that can help out with this conversation, right? Make sure that we're having these conversations and we show empathy. I would say almost more important than all of that is also ensuring that we create a stigma-free environment where employees feel comfortable discussing mental health concerns. Being able to say, hey, professor, I went and saw my therapist today and we were able to kind of push through that struggle I was having with my teenager. There's an example of making it comfortable, right? In doing so, you can host workshops or Q&A sessions where you bring in mental health professionals so that we do it for physical health. Why not for mental health? Then we also need to make sure we're offering clear access to those employee assistance programs or counseling services. We need to make sure these resources are easily accessible and well communicated, right? So they're not just at the annual, open enrollment, but throughout the year and throughout the month or throughout certain conversations, we're leaning into those resources collectively. And most importantly, and this one I definitely agree with, is we need to model those work habits, those healthy work habits from the top all the way down. Leadership has to demonstrate work-life boundaries by taking breaks and respecting after-hour communication limits. I have supported teams and worked on teams where this happens, and it does impact people. When you see a VP or a director who takes a vacation and they don't respond to messages, and other than like mission critical ones, the rest of the team does it too. And guess what? Vacations are critical to our health, mental and physical. So those of you who are listening and you're not a manager, you're not a business leader, you're not an HR professional, you're just an employee, which are the key heart of our business. This is what I say for you. This is my takeaway. If you're feeling the effects of burnout, here's what you need to do, because we have to advocate for ourselves. Set clear boundaries between work and personal time. This might mean turning off notifications after hours. And as an HR professional, trust me, I know how hard that is. Or having a dedicated workspace that you can physically leave. As you can see, I have an office. When I'm done, I go out that door and I don't come back until my next shift. You need to take advantage of the mental health resources offered by your employer. Many organizations now offer access to therapy, counseling, or wellness programs. Make sure you're taking advantage of those. Practice stress management techniques like mindfulness, exercise, breathing, social connection for those of you who like to be social. Research shows that these can significantly reduce burnout symptoms because it's allowing your body to release the stress. You, again, have to advocate for yourself. So communicate with your manager about your workload, concerns before you reach a breaking point. I would say if you're starting to feel like you're going to break, that's when you better start having the conversation. You're not 5 years down the road, right? Hey, professor, I'm starting to feel overwhelmed. I'm starting to feel like I'm not getting my work done. Engage in the conversation now. Okay. Most leaders want to help, but they may not recognize that you're struggling because the way you show struggle might be different than them. So have those conversations and remembering that remember that prioritizing your mental health isn't selfish. It's essential. It's necessary for sustainable performance and well-being. So here's my closing thoughts. The workplace mental crisis of 2025 represents a critical inflection point for organizations, all parts, manager and employee. The data represents both a warning and an opportunity. The warning is clear. Continuing on the current path will and is leading to unprecedented levels of workforce attrition, productivity loss, and human suffering. But the opportunity lies in the proven effectiveness of prevention strategies. Organizations that act now can gain competitive advantages while supporting their most valuable asset, their people. Because again, I want to work for a place where I feel seen, heard, and appreciated. So let's use Mental Health Awareness Month as a catalyst for lasting change, not just a momentary focus on well-being. The organizations that thrive will be those that embed, rather, mental health support into their culture and operations year-round. It will be a part of who they are, not just something that's done on the side.